President Trump, he threatens a tax on European car imports if the Europeans retaliate against our planned aluminum and steel tariffs on stuff coming in here. Over the weekend, the president tweeted this: if the EU wants to further increase their already massive tariffs and barriers on US companies doing business there, we will simply apply a tax on their cars which freely pour into the US. They make it impossible for our cars and more to sell there. Big trade imbalance. The man of the hour is with us, White House top trade guy, Peter Navarro, with us from the White House. Peter, welcome to the program. Good to see you, sir.
Stuart, I would say you're the man of the hour, always at this hour.
Well, flattery is the mother's milk of television, Peter, and that's fine stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Now, to business. You've said absolutely no exemptions for any countries on steel and aluminum tariffs. Is that correct?
That's the president's position on this. 25% tariffs on steel, 10% on aluminum, no country exclusions. And let's understand, Stuart.
Peter, can I just interrupt for a second?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I don't hate to do this to you, sir, but look, will there be any exemptions on any exemptions for different kinds of steel, different kinds of aluminum? I know the beer companies, they want an exemption on the aluminum used in beer cans. Any exemptions going to be offered there?
Let's distinguish between exclusions for countries and exemptions for specific situations. There'll be a clause that'll have exemptions for very specific one-off type situations, but nothing like for beer cans. And it's funny you mentioned beer cans because a six-pack of beer with a 10% aluminum tariff only goes up by 1.5 cents. And I think Americans are willing to pay that extremely small price to defend our aluminum and steel industries from extinction. Aluminum industries in particular distressed, Stuart. Okay. We have 6 smelters gone since 2013. We've only got 5 left. 2 of them are operating at full capacity, but the industry is only operating 43 capacity. We have specialty steel, only 1 company making that, which is needed for our defense needs. And this is what this whole thing is about, Stuart. It's protecting our national security and economic security. And the president has made it clear, without a steel industry, without an aluminum industry, we don't have a country.
Now, the president has gone right out there with a very tough opening stand. It seems like it's an opening gambit, an opening negotiating position, which may be moderated in the future. Is that accurate?
That's not accurate. The president is clear about this, and there's no backing off from this in the sense that this is the minimum we need in order to defend our industries from extinction. If we don't impose these tariffs, we will lose our aluminum industry within a matter of a few years, and our steel industry will be crippled forever. We've lost 75,000 steelworker jobs since the year 2000. These are industries that are important to our national economic security, and the president wants to defend them.
Did you expect this near universal opposition to tariffs?
Of course, if you go to Ohio or Pennsylvania, or you go to the heartland of American Main Street, there's universal support. Of course, K Street lobbyists are going to go nuts over this. We're going to have the politicians. But I would remind you that when the president ran for president back on the campaign trail, 16 of his Republican opponents all opposed tariffs and trade reforms. And then when he beat all of them, he beat Hillary Clinton, who was on the other side of the trade fence as well. So the only people who are surprised by this, I can't figure out who they would be. The president has been abundantly clear about this. But Stuart, let's talk a little bit about the markets, because there's some spin here that somehow this is going to upset the markets. I think if you're an investor right now at this point in time trying to look at the chessboard here, it's really important to understand that the impact of these tariffs from a macroeconomic point of view are zero. The impact on the inflation rate are just close to zero. It's like a nothing burger. And so if you look at this in the clear light of day, you look at all the positive economic indicators: high consumer confidence, high business confidence, the ISM manufacturing index off the charts. As you just announced today, the ISM service index going up for months on end. Europe healthy, Asia healthy. This is a global economy that's moving forward. This is a bullish time. And you know what? You can thank President Donald J. Trump for that, because when he came into office, he promised tax cuts. We got those. He promised deregulation. We're getting a lot of that. He promised to unleash our energy sector so that we have low prices for our manufacturers. We're getting that. And he promised trade reforms. And from day one, getting out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, he did that. We're renegotiating NAFTA. Nobody ever thought we could do that. Renegotiating the South Korean deal. And yes, we're putting on aluminum and steel tariffs.
Okay. Playing hardball, too. Peter Navarro, thanks for joining us, sir.
No curves, though.
Okay. Hardball. Got it. Thanks, Peter.